Hello, everyone. In the previous lecture, we have worked upon dictionaries. We have seen various examples based on it, methods to be applicable on dictionaries. Then we have performed the implementation for arrays in Python. We have checked various methods on arrays also. Then we proceeded with the conditional statements for while and introduced break and continue statement in it. Okay, and in this lecture we are moving ahead with those concepts, and then we will be working on the functions. And it's requested to all that if you are having any doubt, you can ask me at the same time by unmuting yourself. Okay, because when I was going through the topic, when I was explaining the topic, uh, I didn't check the comment thing. Okay, so when I get proceeded ahead, and the last when I check now, that's something else. So if you are having any doubt, you can ping me at the same time. Sir, kindly explain the concept again. Okay, so here is a code for us. That means I have defined two variables. One is the current level equal to 0, and one is the final level equal to 5. Okay, two variables are there. Assign the values for it. Then I said another variable, that is game completed equal to true. Okay, I'm using while loop here. That means current level. If your current level is less than equal to final level, current level less than equal to final level means your current level is 0, your final level is 5. So you need to perform something inside the while loop. What you need to perform? If game completed, that means if this condition is satisfied, we are going inside the while loop. Okay, and then what will happen next? There is a if condition. If game completed, then you are going to print you have passed level, that is your current level, and we need to update your current level values. Okay, so initially what will happen? The current level is 0. Okay, and I have already made game completed equal to true because it is true. Okay, so if condition is always true. Okay, so you will ask, sir, this is the while loop, there is a condition. Okay, initially the condition is satisfied, we came inside the while loop. Okay, now if there is no comparison done inside if, we are just saying if game completed, but the point is you have already made game completed true. That means no need to check anything here. You will, since it is true, so obviously you will come inside the if condition. Okay, and then you will say you have passed the current level. Okay, that means 0, it will print the current level is 0. Then current level is updated. Then again there will be check with the final level. Again, because the game completed is true, again it will print the current level 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and at the last, when your loop is over, it will print level ends. Okay, so just one thing here, I have used true for this if statement. There is no requirement of the comparison. All right, next thing is, again a variable counter has been assigned a value 0, and I'm saying while counter is less than 3 inside the loop, and I'm updating the counter. Obviously the counter is initially 0, then it will be updated to 1, then it will be updated to 2, and after 2 it will exit because the condition is counter should be less than 3. Else, I am here using else with while loop. You very well know that else is something which can be used in combination with if, in combination with for, and here it's also been used in combination with while also. Okay, so when your while is successfully completed, then it will go to the else, and it will print the else statement inside else. That's it. Okay, here it is. Fine. Now, next thing is, I need to print all letters except E and S. So how it can be done? There's a problem statement. Print all letters except E and S, and what we are given with? We are given with Python for everyone. Okay, and I need to print all the letters which are present in Python for everyone except E and except S. Okay, so what should be done? In the previous class also, we have checked the concept of continue, okay, and break. So here, definitely we are going to use those concepts only. So I'm saying if I is less than length of a, okay, so what is the length of a? Python for everyone. That means whatever be the number of characters which are present in this particular string, that will be the length of this string. Okay, so I'm saying while I is less than length of a, initially the value of I is 0. Obviously, if we are going to use the while loop, we do make a variable whose value is initially 0. So I is 0, and I'm saying while I is less than length of a, okay, that means my loop is having a condition which is so true, it will go inside the loop. I'm saying if ai equal to e, or ai equal to o, I equal to I plus 1, continue. That's what I'm saying. That means I'm my problem statement was I need to print all the letters except E and S. Okay, so I don't want to print them. So in case while tracing the complete string here, if I found that any of the letter is E or O, I need to continue my loop. Okay, I need to continue, and remaining else letters you can print. Print current letter AI. Okay. So, here we are going to work according to the index. If I am saying length of A, that means whatever be the number of characters are, that will be the length. And here I am working on the basis of index. Okay. So, it's been checking what is the value at this particular index. Okay. And if it is E, if it is O, then I need to update the counter. Okay. And I'm saying continue. Don't print it. Okay. And remaining also, you need to print. Okay, so here is your output. All the characters has been printed except these two. Okay, now if I would say a equal to Python for everyone, I equal to 0, and I'm saying while I is less than length of a, and I'm updating my while loop, and I'm saying pass. Okay, that means I did not have to do any kind of operation inside the while loop. I'm not interested to do anything. So I need to save the error also. In that particular case, you can use pass. Okay, we have already seen these examples, whether using pass in if also, using pass in for also, and here we are using pass in while also. Okay, so we don't have anything to do, and at the last I'm printing the value of I. However, what will happen? The loop will work, definitely. The loop will work. Okay, and the value of I will be updated till the loop will work. Okay, and it will exit when the condition get over. So the last value of I here is 17 while working with the loop. So if I do print what is the value of I, it's printing me 17. Okay, so there will be 17 characters here. So it printed me that particular value, last value. However, we didn't perform any operation inside the while loop, just updated the counter, nothing else, and use the pass. Okay, so it's an empty loop, example of an empty loop. Okay, now there are some more examples which we can use with a while and else. For example, if I would say initially I equal to 0, a variable I equal to 0, I said I is less than 4. Okay, the condition is true, and I updated the value of I, and I'm printing I. Okay, so the value to be printed for I, the first value of I to be printed is 1, then 2, then 3. Then what will happen after 3? It will become 4, and it will be printed. Then 4 is less than 4 now. It will not happen. Okay, so here the results you will get is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you have used print I above and the condition below, then the output might have been the different thing, different case. Okay, but you are using update above and print below, so the output is something different. That means if you are using print I above, that means the initial value of I is 0, so your result will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3 accordingly. Okay, however, you are using update above, So your initial value is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Then we performed a break. Okay. Then we performed a break. Your loop got breaks. Okay. Then I'm using else statement. Print no break. Okay. I'm using else statement no break. However, we have already seen, sir, if you are terminating the loop with a break, then it doesn't execute else statement. We have already seen. However, the case in this example says your loop has worked for all the iterations. Your loop has worked for all the iterations. Okay. And the point is, if okay, if I would say here we are working here at the moment. Okay, executed because no break is used here. Okay, so initially your value is 1, then it printed 2, then it printed 3, and then it printed 4. Then 4 less than 4, your loop is over. Your loop is over. Actually, we are not using break. Break is the second case. Here we are not using break, and it printed the else statement. So here the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, and no break. In this particular example, again the value of I is 0. Initially the value of I is updated to 1. I'm printing 1. Okay, then I'm printing 2, then I'm printing 3. Okay. However, it will not go with 2, 3, and so on. The reason is, while updating the value as 1 and printing it, I am saying break. So only one is printed. Only one is printed, and my loop is breaked, and obviously no else statement will be executed. Okay, so only here one is output in this particular case. So break will terminate the loop. If I would say continue, again the point is very much clear. For this particular code also, I'm printing the value 1. Not printing. See, let's see what happened here. Initially, the value of I is 0, and you are saying while I is less than 4, that means 0 less than 4. You are saying, okay, you are updating the value of I. I becomes 1. Then you said, sir, continue. I become 1, and then you said, sir, continue. Then, if it is continued, then print will not execute. So now, okay, fine. We are continuing. Now, it will become 2. Again, you will say, sir, continue. Again, it's not printed. Then it will become 3. Then again, you are said, sir, continue. Okay. Then again, 3 is less than 4. It become 4. Then again, you said, sir, continue. That means nothing is printed inside the while loop here. And there is a change. There's a change. If you use continue here, we will be stuck in indefinite loop. If you are using continue here, then it will be big trouble, because the reason is initially the value of I is 0, and you are saying I is less than 4, and if you do continue, that means I will always remain less than 4. And if you are using continue here, we are gone, stuck in the indefinite loop. So it's better to make a comment here. Okay, and here you can use the continue. However, because the continue has been on above the print statement, so there is no value printed here. And after your loop is worked successfully, no break is printed. We are going with the else statement. All right. Now your next code is again a very simple. I just brought very simple code again to understand the concept. That means to print the odd numbers from 1 to 10. If I'm taking num equal to 0, a variable num equal to 0, I'm taking it as num less than 10. Okay, num plus equal to 1. Okay, updating the value of num. So the point is, now the number will become 1, because initially it was 0. Here you updated the value of num, so num will be 1. And then I'm checking the condition. If num percentage 2 equal to 0, then I said continue. That means if your number is an even number, then I don't want to print that even number. I just need to print the odd numbers only. So in case if it happens that the number is a even number, then you perform continue, else you are going to print the number. So this is what I did, and all the odd numbers are printed here. So you can use this simple logic to create even and odd, positive, negative numbers, whatsoever. It's you can apply the logic. Okay. So now, see, pass is something which I've already told. It can be applicable anywhere. So if I say n equal to 10, a variable declared n equal to 10. If I say n greater than 10, pass. Okay, I did not want to perform any operation. It will do. No worries. Okay, so here the output is hello, because at the last I'm using here print hello. So nothing will happen here inside if. Okay, so these are the concepts related to the conditional statements, for and while loop, continue, and the break. Okay, now the next thing which we are going to study is about functions. I hope you are not having any doubt in this particular segment related to the following topics. And if you have, you can ask me anytime. You can ask me anytime. Okay, you can interrupt me while explanation, and you can let me know that, sir, we want to revise it again, kindly explain. All right, so here it is, our next topic, that is the function. So can you please let me know what you know about the functions? Anyone? Function? I hope you have used the functions. What is a
A
function?
block of code which can be reused again
Okay,
in the
block of
code.
code which can be reused again. All right, so that is the only requirement of the function in Python. That means we are creating a block of code. In that particular block we are writing the statements, various statements, and as per our requirement we can call that particular function instead of writing the statements again and again, and all the statements are bundled up under a same name, and then we can call a function, then all the bundled statements will be executed. That's the only point in the functions, or something else? See, the definition given is correct, that a function is a block of statements. It's a block of code, whatever you can say. And block means, that means we are having a name of the function. We are defining a function, and it has a name. In that particular name, we are writing multiple statements according to our convenience, what the task we need to perform. Okay, so it's a block of code. We can pass data inside the function in the form of parameters or arguments, whatever you want to say, you can. Okay, so function may or may not have parameters depending upon your problem statement. Okay, so if it do have a parameters, we can pass a value inside inside the function for the parameters. Okay, and as told that if we want to perform repeatedly done task together, we don't want to write those lines again and again and wasting our time. So the point is, instead of writing the same code again and again, let's put all the stuff together under one name and call it. That means function is having a property of reusability. Okay, that's the most important thing, reusable. All right, so this is how we can define a function. A simple function, def stands for the definition, define a function. Fun, I just put a name fun, and I'm saying welcome to Python programming, hello, how are you? Okay, so this is function definition. Function has its definition. Function is having call, function definition, and the function call. If you can define a function, that means with a def keyword, with the rounded brackets followed by colon, and here you can write multiple statements. However, unless and until you don't call the function, it will not execute. So this is how you can define a function, and this is how you can call a function to perform its operation. So whatever the statements which are written inside the function, that will be executed. Welcome to Python programming, hello, how are you? Whatever you are going to perform, you can do it inside the functions. Functions has a great significance, as it's already told. So code reusability property has been satisfied here with the functions. Okay, this is a function call. All right, and as also told, parameters, you can give parameters inside a function also. For example, if I create a function add, df add, and I need to perform addition of two numbers addition. So here I gave num1 comma num2. Two parameters inside the functions. Parameters, arguments, whatever you want to say, you can. Okay. So the point is, I am giving two parameters here, and I am declaring one variable num3 that is equal to, now defined as, num1 plus num2. Okay, so whatever be the value which will be passed to num1 and num2, that will be sum up later to assign a value of num3, to assign a value num3, and then we are printing here, print num3. Okay, so it's a very simple code to perform the addition of two numbers. And you have seen, sir, addition of number can also be done straightforward, sir. Num1 equal to 3, then num2 equal to 4, and num3 equal to num1 plus num2, and that's it, sir. Why using this all stuff? See, this is a very simple code for our explanation how does a function works, because functions, or I would say later on modules. Okay, and the point is, we are not having very simple modules always. We are having complex modules also, which are having multiple statements written inside. Multiple statements that could be 100, 200, 500, whatever, under some one function name. Okay, so that's why it's important for us to understand the concept of functions. Now, if I would say, let us ask from the user should give the input x equal to int input, enter the number 1, enter the number 2. Okay, and then you can define the function num1, num2, num3 equal to num1 plus num2, then print num3. And here you are giving add x and y, the values which you have asked from the user. Previously I already gave the values, now I asked from the user to give the value. Okay, and it gave me the output as 25. Whatever you give the input here in a form of x and y, it will give the output. Okay, the point is, next, if you are printing here the result, that's okay. If you are not printing the result here, you need to use return statement. Return. That means what will happen? Here the values of x and y are assigned. Here you are defining the function. Okay, no worries. When you are using print add x and y, so what will happen? This method will be called. Here this method is called. After calling this method, the value of in call the value of x and y will be transferred to num1 and num2. The value will be transferred here. Operation will be done of addition between num1 and num2. Result will be saved to num3, and here we are returning num3. That means the control at this particular moment, the control is being present here inside this function. Once the task of this function is over, the control will be handed back again to the print statement. And since we are returning num3, so control will not come alone, it will carry the value of num3. It will carry, and as it is carrying the value of num3, here we are using print statement, so it will print the value of num3. Okay, previously what happened, sir? Here we called the method, we called this method, and we have already printed the value, and control will come back. Okay, but it's not been carrying anything. Okay, because we have already used a print statement here. So either you can use this thing, print num3, or either you can return the value and you can print it here. The output will be same. Okay, however, in this particular case, we are returning the value of the function. Okay, and I already told that every function returns something. Every function returns something. Okay, so here we are returning that particular value and printing here the value. Okay, so both of these you can use as per your choice. Now, in Python, see, these are user defined methods. This is user defined function. Okay, you are creating function from your side. In Python already we are having a list of methods which are available. For example, I am having sqrt method in Python. Okay, that means for that purpose I need to just import math library, import math, and I would say math.sqrt4. So it will calculate me the square root of the number 4, that's 2.0. Okay, if I need to calculate the sum of the numbers, so for that reason I can take a list, import math, I'm taking a list and I'm calculating the sum x. Okay, so x is a list, and here is the variable in which I am going to store the result of the sum. Okay, so The sum of x will be sum of all the numbers, straightforward, and here it's giving me the result 5. So already Python is already available with the many functions, predefined functions. You need not have to stress. And it's not the first time we are seeing these functions. We have already seen the functions in the list, in the tuple, in the set, in the dictionaries, in the array also. We have already used predefined functions. Okay, so now we are just studying separately. The point is we need to create functions from our side, user defined. That is our goal. All right. So this sum function not only works with the list, okay, it also works with the tuple too. It also works with the set also. Okay, and it will calculate the sum of all the items or elements present in it. Now, if I want to create a method that will perform all the operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, everything, if you want to perform. So for that reason, I'm taking the two values from the user end. Give the two values, num1 and num2, and I'm preparing a method def arithmetic x and y. I'm going to take the input x and y from the user side, and I name it this method as arithmetic, and then I'm saying addition equal to x plus y, print addition. Then subtraction equal to x minus y, print subtraction. Multiplication, division, I'm going to print everything, and here I'm calling the function with the values num1 and num2. Okay, so I supply the value here in the function. So the point is, I entered the two values 12 and 3, and then these are the results. These are the results: print addition, subtraction, and multiplication and the division. Okay, and the point is, if you say here we are printing, we here we're printing each and every value. Okay, so in the next code, what I did, I used a separate logic. I think, sir, why you are printing? Is it mandatory to print all the values inside the function only? Can we do something else? Can we print them outside? Don't use print statement inside the methods. What are the other options available? One option is the you told, sir, return statement. We can return the value of this x plus y to the function. That's what we can do. Okay, but however, we are available with addition also, subtraction also, multiplication also, and division also. I'm not available with the single value for return. I'm available with all these values to return for. So how it gonna work? So the point is, I made these variables: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division as a global variable. Now the availability of these variables are not only limited to the arithmetic method, they are available to me outside arithmetic also. So if I do perform x plus y, it will be saved to addition, and I can print the value of addition outside also. This is also this is one of the tasks which I can do instead of printing the values inside. Okay, so I made these variables global. Okay, and printing outside. In fact, you can print them all in the same line: addition, comma, subtraction, comma, multiplication, comma, division. You can print them on the same line also. It's up to you how you customize your code. Okay, so just use a global variable. All right. Now, the next thing is just a bit change. I've defined my function, that is my underscore function. I given an argument, a parameter inside f name. Okay, just gave one argument. Then inside this function, I'm printing something. I'm printing f name plus programming. See, plus actually it's a concatenation. You very well know, sir, string concatenation. Okay, so obviously I'm going to give here certainly a string, and I'm saying concatenate it with the programming. Okay, so the point is, here I called my function, I gave Python. So Python will be coming to f name. So Python plus programming, so it will be Python programming. Okay, then I gave Java, so Java programming. Then I gave R, so R programming. Okay, so this is how I'm performing the concatenation of this argument which I gave inside the function. Okay, now you can do various changes with this thing also. For example, I am having again my function f name and the l name, first name and the last name. I am going to print f name plus with a space plus l name, and I'm giving Python and programming as an argument here. So it will be Python, then there will be space, and there will be programming. This is how it will be printed. Okay, so same here, same thing here also. I can take my name, XY, ABCD, whatever you want to take, you can. It's all possible. All right. Now, if I need to calculate the sum of first n numbers using functions, sum of first n numbers using functions, how? We have performed this task already and we know the logic, how it works. The logic says this particular thing without functions. We have already seen if you need to calculate the sum of first n numbers, we have seen example for the sum of first 10 numbers. So what you initially need to do is you need to assign the value of sum equal to 0, and then you need to perform sum equal to sum plus I, where you're using the logic for I in range 1 to num plus 1. Why num plus 1? I am saying first n numbers. I don't know what the num is. This will be I don't know. This will be might be this will be given by the user. Okay, and that will be value will be supplied here to the num. Okay, so the code is all same here. This code, this logic is all same. However, you have used def sum. You're taking an argument here num. Okay, and after calculation of the sum, you are printing the value here sum. Okay, so the point is here I'm taking the number n, the number n I'm taking from the user point of view, and then it will be assigned here in the num. Initially sum is 0 for I in range 1. So what is the value of I? Now the question says, sir, what is the value of I? You are saying for I in range 1 to num plus 1. That means the value of I is 1 till num plus 1. Num plus 1 means if I'm giving 10, if I'm giving 10, so the range it will be 11. So I need to take the values, I need to print the values from 1 to 11. That means 11 is excluded. That's why I used num plus 1. The question says you need to find the sum of first n numbers. And if I give 10, and if I use simply the range 1 to 10, then it will exclude 10. So to include 10, I use num plus 1. That is 11, because you know that range exclude the outer limit. This is the outer limit. Okay, so it will start from 1. It will go till um, 10 if I give the value here as 11. Okay, it will become 11 here. If I give the value of n equal to 10, this will become 11 here. So it will calculate the sum from 1 to 10, all the 10 numbers. So here it is. If I enter a number 10, the sum is 55. The sum is 55. Okay, now the next is, if I want to calculate even and odd with the help of a function. Okay, so same logic applies here. Accept the number from the user, create a method from your side, define def or even and odd, because and only one argument, because I need to calculate whether number is even or odd. So just make only one take only one argument from your side. Okay, and then the same logic which is normally applicable. If num percentage 2 equal to 0, that means your number is even, else your number is odd. That's it. And here you need to call your method. Here the point is same. Okay, so defining your function, calling your function, and just looking forward for whether a given number is even or odd. All right, and it's up to you how many times you can call a method with different values. It's up to you. Again, I defined a method even odd, same operation I performed, but the point is here I've used even odd 2, and here I used even odd 3. That means first 2 will be assigned to x, and it will check, okay, the result is even. Then 3 will be assigned to x, it will check the number is odd. Okay, so it will print even and then it will print odd. Okay, so it's up to you how many times you can call the method as per your requirement. Okay, next thing is here I'm saying df number x print x. That means I just need to print the numbers. I just need to print the numbers. And then what I did, For I in range 1 to 5, that means I applied a loop 1 to 5. That means the loop will go from 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here I'm calling number I. That means I'm calling a method inside for loop. Calling method inside for loop. So what will happen? That means it will called multiple times according to the loop. That means how many times it will be called? It will be called 4 times. First, the value of I will be 1. So 1 will be supplied here, 1 will come here, and it will be printed. Then the value of I is updated to 2. So 2 will be coming here. Function is called. Okay, 2 will go here, 2 will be printed. Then 3 will be printed. Then 4 will be printed. That's it. Okay, so calling a method inside function. Okay, so it will, as per your range, it will call it again and again. Now the next case is, again I'm using some stuff related to the even and odd. And if I want to check multiple times, if this is my wish that I need to give the, how many times I need to check. Okay, that I am entering number and I want to check, okay, this is even or odd, or even or odd, or whatever. Okay, so here is the code. Define even and odd, and this is the same block of code which is used to perform or to check whether a number is even or odd. What will happen? I gave n equal to int input enter number of times. Enter the number of times. Okay, so the point is, I have given user a chance. How many times you want to check? It's up to you. Just put the numbers inside your function call and check whether a given number is even or odd. So here I ask from the user how many times you want to do this task. So I took the value and then I applied a for loop for I in range 1 to n plus 1. For example, a user want to check 3 times. User want to check 3 times. That means he wants to give 3 different numbers and want to check. So what will be happening here? For I in range 1 to 3 plus 1, that is 4. So obviously this loop will going to work for 3 times. Okay, and here the user is entering the values num equal to int, and whatever the value user is entering, it has been supplied to this even odd method. So even odd method will be called, and even and odd will be calculated, whatever be the result is. Okay, so here I'm taking the number from the user as per the number of times expected by the user. If user want to say, sir, I want to check 10 times, okay, you can give 10 here. User can check 10 different numbers. Okay, so that's why I've applied this particular code. Now the point is, we are going to demonstrate the default arguments. Till now you have given the arguments which are not default in nature. Okay, here the argument, it's not by default, you are supplying a value to it. You are giving num from here the value you assigned, and here you are giving the value to the num. Everywhere you are giving the value to this argument. Also here also you gave the value 2 and 3. Okay, so you are already giving the values. All right, so the point is how we can assign default arguments to the method. What is the step? See, in this case, I defined a function, my function x and y equal to 50. Y 50. So, this value y equal to 50, I'm not giving from the call. I'm not giving it from the call. It's already available, 50. Okay. So, if in a function you are giving a value to a variable, then it's a by default value. In case, in case, in case if you can't give a value to it, then the default value will come into operation. See, let's check what's happening. Df my function x y 50. X is the value which I've been going to supply from the calling. Y equal to 50, it's already assigned here. I'm printing the value of x and y. And you know what happened? I'm saying my function 10. That means I am just calling this function, my function, with only one value. With only one value. But You can see that, sir, this my function is having two arguments, but you are calling it with only one argument value. Because the reason is, by default I am having this argument, it's already available with the value. Okay, it's already available. So I don't require to give another stuff at this moment. So 10 will be supplied to x. Y is already having 50. So if you just print this value, the result are 10 and 50. We'll get the result as 10 and 50. This is what you can do. Similarly, it's not specific to only the two arguments. If I would say I'm taking df num xyz, z equal to 30, this is by default argument, and I'm going to print xyz. And here during call I'm taking num 1020. That means 10 will be supplied to x, 20 will be supplied to y, and here I'm going to print 10, 20, and 30, all will be printed. Okay, so here z is a default argument. By default I'm giving the value. Okay, now in case if you are having x equal to 10, y equal to 20, that means you are available with the two arguments and both are default. And while call, I don't require any value to give to the x, to give to the y, because already these values are assigned inside the method. Default values already assigned, and I'm just using print x and y. Okay, so this is also possible, and it will print 10 and 20. Okay, now what will happen? What will happen? Let us take another case. If I just do copy this code, and if I say num 30 40 30 40, see, default argument values are already 10 and 20. By default it is present, but you want to print the values from your side. You will say, sir, I want to call the functions with 30 and 40, sir. We don't want to print this 10 and 20. So let me run this code. See, there will be no error. There will be no error at all. If you supply a value from your side, it will print your value. If you don't supply value from your side, it will print by default value. The case is clear. The point is absolutely clear. By default values only comes into picture when you don't have any value to supply for it. Then it will print default. Here I have given 30 and 40 value in the function num. So it printed 30 and 40, not 10 and 20. It will absolutely not do this task. Okay, so there is no error. All right. So what is the importance in case if you forget to give a value of any of the argument? So in that particular case, it will take the by default value and print. That is the only scope. That is the importance of default parameters. All right. Let's check the next code. I defined a function student, first name, the last name, two arguments I gave, and I'm printing the first name and the last name. Okay. I call this function first name. I assigned Python. Last name I assigned programming. Here I said last name R and first name program. That means I changed the order. I changed the order. Then, sir, what will happen? Previously, it was first name and the last name. Then again calling this method with change in the order. Last name and the first name. But what you are printing here? First name and the last name. This is what you are printing. Okay. So according to the print here, that will be given as an output. So first name here Python, it will be assigned to the first name. Last name will be assigned here to the programming here. That will print Python programming. Here first name programming, it will be assigned to here, and the last name R will be assigned here. So your output will be programming R. Okay. So it doesn't matter here. You can change the arguments. It's not like that, sir. I need to give the first name for first here and then last name. No, no, not at all. You can change the order from your side, and you can assign the value to it. Automatically it will be supplied to its actual argument. So the first name is programming, though it has been written after last name, still it will be assigned to first name only. You can change the orders. All right, now the case becomes, sir, till now you have taught that I am available with the two arguments, I am supplying two arguments value. Okay, what will happen if I am not known how many arguments are, how many argument values you are going to supply? We don't know. In that case, what you are going to do? Let us check this code. I am having a function asterisk. I just made a variable asterisk kids here asterisk. Previously, I am not using asterisk sign. I'm just using simple arguments. For example, I could have used here kids. Then it will be a single variable in this method. See what will happen if you want to use, a method, okay, and you are in a scarcity of the values. For example, if I'm saying um, I'm having x, I'm only having x here, and you want to print 30, 40, and 50. That means you are trying to do a task where your function is only accepting one value, but however you forcefully want to give three values to your function to print. So it will give num takes only one positional argument, but three were given. So sir, what can be done if this is the case? If you don't know how many values are user can give from its side while calling, if you don't know, if it is known that there is one value, I can choose only 30. But sir, if it is not known, then what can be done? Here is the concept. I'm using star, I'm using star asterisk, and then I'm using a variable. Okay, and here I'm giving three values x, y, and z. Three characters I'm giving. Okay, and then printing the youngest child is plus kids 2. That means here I'm giving three values. Okay, at 0th location, x will be there. At 1th location, y will be there. At second location, z will be there. And I'm taking asterisk. I'm using asterisk. So, it's either it can be 3, 4, or if I would say z and I would say w. Okay, let me run this code. Then also this code work. That means you are now free with the number of arguments you can give inside the function if you are going to use asterisk. Okay, so here I am saying that okay, the value which has been present at the second index position is z. So you can use the code in this way. Here also df num star num. That means I don't know how many numbers, how many arguments a user can supply, and I am saying the last number is num 4. That means if the user gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so the last number, that means whatever be present at the index position 4, that will be printed. Okay, so the value is 5, fifth index position. All right, let's have something more. But in this particular code, the the things are, I'm taking child 3, child 2, and child 1. Three arguments, three parameters inside the function. Okay, I'm saying the youngest child is plus child 3. Whatever be the value of child 3 will be coming from the function call. I'm saying okay, you are the youngest child, and it will be going to print it. So the child, I gave the values child 1 equal to x, child 2 equal to y, and child 3 equal to z. This is how I gave the value. It will respectively supplied to their parameters. It will go to their parameters respectively. Here you can see the order is child 3, child 2, child 1. And here the order in which you are giving inside the function is child 1, child 2, child 3. That means you are changing the order. But it doesn't matter. You can change the order. I've already told above in the example. So it will print you the youngest child is z. Okay, obviously you are asked for na, to print the child 3, youngest child is child 3. Okay, here also the same thing. I guess this code is already explained. The similar code is already explained. So nothing to be used. Now the point is, I have used single asterisk here to make you safe while giving multiple arguments inside the function, and you don't know how many arguments which the function is expecting for, but you can give multiple arguments. Okay, so now there is one more advanced case, that is double asterisk. If the number of keyword arguments is unknown, the same concept as the logic says above, also here also the logic is somehow similar. If you don't know the number of keyword arguments, how many arguments a person can give, then you can use double asterisk also in the parameter, in front, before the parameter name. Okay, so let's consider a function df my function star 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 kid. Okay, then I'm saying the last name of the kid is kid l name. Okay, and here I'm taking f name equal to my name and l name equal to this thing, and I'm saying okay, print this particular value. See what's it's doing, it's saving us the specific time, that if I'm having 10 parameters, so instead of giving 10 parameters here inside the function, why shouldn't you take star star, just take star star. Okay, and instead of writing the 10 arguments here, just take this thing only, and you print the value according to this format, that means according to the index format. Previously when you are not using star, then you are not printing the value according to some index, no. In that there was no indexing has been done. Here you are simply saying that sir b is applied to 10, you can directly print b, a is applied to 20, directly print a. There is no indexing here, but here there is an index. Okay, so f name will behave as an index for kid to print my name, l name will behave as an index to kid to print surname. This is what happening with, so it's a concept of quarks in Python, arcs, quarks in Python. That's what you are studying right now. Okay, so star. If you don't have any idea about what has been given by the user, okay, so for that reason you can use this double asterisk in your code. Okay, now again, default parameter. This code came just for a default parameter case. For example, I'm having a function. I'm having a I just by default assigned a parameter value country, Armenia, and I'm saying print I am from. Okay, if I give US, it will print US. I am from US. If I give India, it will print I am from India. If I don't give anything, then it will pick default by default. It will pick by default parameter, and it will going to print you Armenia. And if I'm giving a country Brazil, then it will print I am from Brazil. Okay, so this logic we have already seen above, that default parameters came into picture if you don't give any value during the function call. Okay, so it will print it. Okay, so applying methods to list, how to use the list and the methods in combination. Let's see. Let us suppose I am available with a list of fruits: apple, banana, cherry. Previously we are giving simple arguments to the function, very simple arguments to the function. Okay, but now I'm giving list as an argument to the function. You can do that. So I declared a list of fruits here, and here I gave it as an argument, my function fruits. For x in fruits, print x. That means, and here I'm calling it, calling fruits. So no hard and fast code is required. You can directly give a list variable to the function. Okay, no hard and fast code is required. Just give it and print the value. Apple, banana, cherry, it will be printed one by one. That's it. You can give tuple also, no worries. Tuple will be given here inside the function, And here is a function definition. For x in food, print x. That's it. It will gonna work the same. Apple, banana, cherry. If you want to give the list, set, sorry. If you want to give set, you can. Same thing. Set variable to the function, it will print one by one. Cherry, banana, apple. The point is, the set is not ordered. So that's why if you say, sir, apple, banana, cherry has been given, it's outputting me cherry, apple, banana. So because the set is unordered, that's why it can print in the values in anything, any order it can print. Okay, you can create any customized function from your side. Function, I'm saying my function return 5 into x. Okay, and if I give the value 3 here, it will return 15. If I give value 5, it will return 25. If I say 9, it will return 5 nines are 45. You can square up the things. Df square x into x. So you can just use 3, 3 is a 9, and then for 25 and 9. The concept here says very simple. You have defined a function square, and you are returning the value x into x, and here you are printing it. So return in combination with the print. We have already seen very simple examples for the functions. Now, pass, I've already told pass is something it's applicable to most of the places. So here in case of function, if you don't have any idea what to do, you can use pass. Okay, so my function pass, no error will be there, done. That's it. This code is correct. Okay, so now again here is a function based to calculate the square of a number. So it's quite easy. You can do that. Okay, giving a num to the s- square method as an argument, and here just print, performing num into num, saving the value to the result, returning it, and you can print it here. Okay, to calculate the square root. So the point is here already predefined function is present in the Python. So I'm not uh, just creating any other function from my end. Okay, so just use mat.sqrt and you can do that. So, and power function is also there in math. Math comprises of its own methods. Okay, so square root, power, sum. Okay, so all these are available. So you can use them directly and perform the operation. Okay, now if you want to have a change, that means if I want to calculate the square of the numbers which are present in a list, so how can I do that? Let's see. You need to calculate the square of a number, which is square of the numbers which are present in a list. For that, here it is your function get square. The function will operate same. There will be no change in the operation of the function. It will return num into num. Obviously, square is num into num. Here I'm using a list for I in 1 2 3. 1 2 3 is a list. I'm saying result equal to get square I. That means one for first time 1 will be supplied to this function. Result will be 1 into 1. Then 2 will be supplied. Result will be 2 into 2. Then 3 will be supplied. Result will be 3 into 4. I'm printing all. Square of 1, 2, 3. I'm printing all. This is the logic. You can use list with the in a for loop, and one by one you can print the square of each and every element present in the list. Now I need to print the sum. I need to find the sum of multiple numbers. Now what will happen? What could be the criteria? Sir, multiple numbers. I have already told you star. That means this concept. If I don't know, if I don't have any idea about how many numbers I can use for from the user end. Okay, so we are available with this star thing. Okay, so the point is, okay, do you know what is the difference between if I say star and double star? Any idea what is the difference? Because I told that in case of star also, you don't have an idea what could be the input number of arguments given by the user. In case of double star also, you said, sir, we don't have any idea that how many inputs can be given by the user. So what is the difference between star and a double star? See, the point is star is args. Star is args. That means non-keyword arguments. And double star means quarks. That means keyword argument. Okay, so args and quarks. So here if I use single star, so it is an args, that is non keyword arguments. Okay, so so the point is, if we, if in Python, if we want to pass a variable with a number of arguments to the function, I can use star, and it is used to pass a non keyword variable length argument. Non keyword variable length, what it, the length of the variable can be anything. I'm not specific that it should be of length 5, 10, 15, 20. It can be of any length. Okay, so if you say what is the difference between star arcs and the quarks, in case of quarks, in case of quarks we can pass, a variable inside a python method, and it is used specifically if we don't know how many expected arguments are there. Okay, so for that reason I am using double star. So remember the difference between star and double star is used for non keyword argument, double star is used for keyword arguments. Okay, and the length in case of arcs, is, you don't know what it could be. Okay, for example, let us consider one code before I go ahead with this particular number example. Let us define one method, define, and you can use any function like the def name, I would say name, and I am saying star. Okay, star n. Okay, this is what I'm saying. I'm creating a method name and I'm giving variable argument n, and then the next thing is I am going to apply a for loop over it. Okay, for loop over it, I'm saying for I in n, I'm going to print, for I in n, I'm going to print I. Okay, and here the name, I'm going to give something from my end. That means Python, comma, for, okay, wait, for, and then giving Python for everyone. Now, I explained you that asterisk before n, before argument, that means I'm using for non keyword argument. See, python, the length of the python is 1 2 3 4 5 6 characters are there. Okay, so it will be supplied 6 character here, it will print one by one. For is having 3 characters, it will print for. So the length of the characters supplied here to n is variable. Okay, let me run this code first and help you. Here is python for everyone. Okay, so that's the case with your arcs. Okay, it can take variable length characters and it will gonna print you all the arguments. Okay, so but what will happen in case of your double star quarks? What will be the case? That's what we will discuss ahead. Okay, we'll take one more example and discuss it. Let us consider first this example, star numbers. Okay, and I'm saying, I'm defining a method, find some star numbers. Okay, result equal to 0, because the task is to find the sum of all multiple numbers. This is what our task, just calculate the sum of multiple numbers. Okay, I don't know how many numbers are, I'm given by the user, whatever. Let's see what happens. Star numbers, result equal to 0. For num in numbers, similarly I've used here na? For I in n, similarly I used for num in numbers, result equal to result plus num. Initially result is 0, result plus num, whatever be the num, whatever be the numbers given here, that will be added. Result equal to result plus num. Okay, and then I'm calling the function find some 1 2 and 3. The function call will take 3 arguments. It will take 3 arguments, that means 1 will be given. Okay, 1 will be given, so 1 plus 0 will be 1. Okay, then the result will be 1 now. then 2 will be given. So 2 plus 1 is 3, then 3 will be given. 3 plus 3, result is 6. So the result is 6 for the first case. In second you gave 4 and 9. I'm calling the function with the two arguments. Okay, so here it will be 4 and 9 now. So result is 0. Initial value is your 4. Okay, so 4 plus 0 is 4. Then the next value is 9. So result is 4. Num is 9. 4 plus 9 is 13. So result is 13. It will print you the result. So either with the two argument, either with the three argument, whatever you want to do, you can. Okay, and if I do take the same code, if I do take the same code, copy, and if I do paste it here, and instead of using single star, if I use double star, if I use double star, that means quarks. Okay, and if I run this code, then it gave me error. Functional sum takes zero positional arguments, but three were given. It gave me error at this moment. The scenario changed. That means it is expecting zero position, but three were given. And you have seen the example of quarks above. In case of quarks above, you have seen an example. Here is the case for quarks. You said, sir, if I'm going to use this thing, I am looking forward for the index. That what index I'm going to print. Okay, so here the also the same the concept says double star means the number of arguments are unknown. Single star means the number of arguments are still unknown. But the point is, single star stands for the args, non for what? Non keyword arguments. And for quarks, it is keyword arguments. That is the difference between these two. Okay, so let us. Here is your code for the quarks in which I'm taking the index positions. I assigned the value and I'm saying, okay, these are the index positions and I'm printing accordingly. Here we did a mistake. Here there is a mistake. Okay, here I'm using double star numbers and trying to perform this operation, but it doesn't work for me. It's not been working. Okay, so what should be done? What should be done? What should have to be done here? Should I need to use num? Should I what should be done here? Num in numbers. Using num in numbers. That means num in numbers. That means I in this particular numbers I'm using here. What do you think? What change needs to be incorporated here? According to the index position, should I have need to use for num in numbers num? Is that the case I need to use, or what should be the criteria to print? Because you just refer to this particular code. What happened? What happened here? Check this code again. I have explained you for the quarks. Yeah, here it is. If I'm taking double star kid, I'm taking kid name. That means index. What the value has been assigned. So this assigned value is behaving as an index. So should I have to give something here as an index? Should I have to give here something as an index? That means if I would say a like this, a equal to 1, then b in quote, b equal to 2, then quote c equal to 3, like this. And then should I have to use here as an index? Just remove for, just remove for, and do some else operation, something else you should do. Result equal to result plus numbers. What I need to do? A, should I take a plus numbers b plus numbers C. It means index positions. So at index A, 1 is there. So this will be 1. Then 2. Then 3. Is that the case? And please make this as a comment here right now. Let me run this code again. Now it's saying expression cannot contain assignment perhaps equal to equal to. It says that assignment cannot be there available here. Okay. So here if you're not going to assign anything, it's saying equal to 1. Okay, use equal to 1. Let's see. Whatever be the errors are, just go with that particular thing only. Again, it will say, so 0 positional arguments, 3 were given. Obviously, equal to 1 is not something which we can give. Equal to 1 is something which we can't give. That's not the logic. So, sir, are you taking like this? If I say A equal to 1, B equal to 1, let's check what could be the another error possibility. If I say A equal to 1, B equal to 1, but there is no error possibility. The sets are no need to give in the code. Quote, just give it simple A equal to 1, B equal to 2, and C equal to 3. So here at A, it will be 1, B, it will be 2, and C will be 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, and result is initially 0. So plus 0. So the result is 6. Here you're getting the result as 6. So if you are using quarks, definitely you need to work with index. You can't go with the simple terms as you did above. Here, no indexing has been done. Okay, you just simply use star numbers and here you perform the sample operation as you did for other cases. But in case of quarks, you need to look out for the indexing. That at what particular index the value has been present. So here I'm using numbers, then these indexes I am using, then I'm adding them, and then I'm calculating the results. Okay, else it gave the issue, and you have already seen the issue. Errors are coming here also. Now the case, sir, if I want to use this thing, if I say A equal to 4 and then B equal to 9, and here if you use C, then it will make you trouble. Then if for that reason, okay, let us run the code first. Let us run the code. This will be an error. It will say, sir, what is C? We don't know C for this function. We don't know C for this function. So you need to remove C here, from here. Then only this code will run, else it will not run. Okay, so just you need to decide, you need to think over how arcs and quarks needs to be used. This is how quarks needs to be used. Double star. And again, the point is same. Sir, I don't know how many inputs are going to come. The point is same for both the cases. How many inputs? But see the difference. Unless and until you don't know the index, if you don't know what is at what index I'm saying, numbers A is 1, number B is 2, and number C is 3. That's why it worked. Else it won't work. Okay. However, in case of single asterisk, I don't require any indexing. I not required here. With the numbers, I don't require any indexing. Okay, just simple star numbers, and I applied the sample logic which I used do for the other programs and calculated the sum. Whether it is 123, whether it is 49, it doesn't hurts me. Okay, so R's and quas are something very important concepts in the Python. Okay, now let us check ahead. So this case is we have discussed. Okay, recursion. Anyone knows about recursion? Anyone knows about recursion in Python? Not in Python. Okay, in programming. Recursion. Have you studied about recursion? Anyone? What is recursion? See, definition has been written. You can see that. But I want to know something from your side. Have you studied? Have you done any code based upon recursion? Yes or no? You can say. I will explain it here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what you did?
Yes.
What you did in recursion? What code you made in recursion?
God itself.
No, no. You can tell me now. What code you wrote in recursion? Where you applied recursion technique? You forgot?
In factorial, sir.
Okay, factorial. Calculation for
Replace.
factorial. Factorial or Fibonacci series or Tower of Hanoi. These are some sample cases related to the recursion. Okay, what is the motive of recursion? Why we use the recursion?
To reduce the
To,
code.
to reduce the code size. To reduce the code size. That's what you are saying. See, recursion means calling of a function by itself. Okay. Instead, I am calling the function from my side multiple times. Instead, function should call itself. I need to write some statement in a way that function should call itself. Okay, and produce me the result. So how function is going to call it? Basically, the definition of recursion is calling of a function by itself. That is called as a recursion. Okay. And you told me, sir, we have done a problem on the factorial. So, if I say 5 factorial means 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, that is 120. The result is 120 here, 5 factorial. Okay. So, how I can prepare a program to calculate a factorial of a number using recursion? That means how function should call itself. What is the possibility? Okay. So, let us check. I am defining a method df factorial. This is a recursive function. Df factorial. I am saying if x is equal to 1, then return 1. If you are giving as an input as 1, then it should return the value 1. Else return x into factorial x minus 1. This is recursion. This is actually a recursion. That means we are still inside a function and we are calling the function again from inside the function. This is what we are doing. So how it's going to operate? For example, if you gave the value of x as 5, you said sir 5. So 5 will be supplied here. 5 is not equal to 1. Okay. So what I need to return? Return x into factorial 5 minus 1. So the thing is, here I have explained. I am considering factorial 3. So you are giving the value factorial 3. For example, 3 is something which you want to calculate a factorial. Okay. So 3 came here. 3 is not equal to 1. What you need to return? 3 into factorial 3 minus 1. So you need to return factorial 2. So factorial 2 is, it's again function calling itself. So what is factorial 2? So factorial 2 again just call itself. It is not equal to 1. 2 is not equal to 1. I need to return this thing. That is 2 into factorial 2 minus 1. That is 1. That means I need to return 3 into 2 into factorial 1. Okay. Factorial 1, sir, again it is calling itself. So I need to give the value here. X equal to 1. Now factorial 1 means the value of x is 1. Value of x is 1. So it will return 1. Okay. So now in place of factorial 1, you can put 1 here. And then multiplication will go on in a reverse order. 2 into 1 is 2. Then 2 into 3 is 6. That is how the result will be gone. Because for every calls, there is a stack formed. For every call, there is a stack formed. Okay, and if you want to check it diagrammatically, let me explain you here. Here's a diagram for that factorial. You started with factorial 3, x equal to factorial 3. According to the definition, it is not equal to 1. So it will be returning you 3 into factorial n minus 1, that is factorial 2. This is what it's going to return. Okay, so this is just step number 1. Okay, then factorial n minus 1, that is actually factorial 2, is again call. So again I put it here. It's not equal to 1. So it will gonna return me factorial n minus 1, that is factorial 1. Then again this factorial 1 will be called. It is going to be given here. N is now the thing is, if n equal to 1, yeah, it is 1. Now this 1 is returned back here. You can see this 1 is returned back here with this particular thing. It's been returned back. Whatever be the result calculated here, 2 into 1 is again returned back here above. 2 is the result returned, so it will multiply by 3, so 2 3 is 6. Again the result which is calculated has been returned back here to factorial 3. Okay, so you are moving. First you are going through for the factorial 3, then factorial 2, then factorial 1. Whatever the results which you are getting, they are again supplied back in this order from down to top. And your factorial has been working from top to down, and your calculations are been done from down to top, bottom up. This is how it works, factorial. So you have already seen the example of factorial. You told me, sir, we have checked this particular thing. Okay, and here the working of the your recursion. But the point is, recursion is a bit complex. The concept of recursion is bit complex, so that's why we use for some of the cases. For example, factorial we can use for a case of Fibonacci series. Do you know about Fibonacci series? What is Fibonacci?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is Fibonacci? I
It
guess
will sum up, sir.
sum up. Okay, sum up, that means if your numbers are 0 then 1, then next one will be the sum of the first two. That means these 0 and 1. The next result will be 2. Then the next result will be 3. Next result will be 5. Then 8, and so on. This is Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series, that means this value is the sum of first two. Then this value is the sum of these two. Then this value is the sum of these two. That means every value is a sum of its prior two values. That is called as a Fibonacci series. In case of Fibonacci also, we can prepare a code for the recursion. Okay, so this is how your recursion works. It's a flow of control from for the values, and then the calculation has been done afterwards when the value has been returned one by one to the levels. Okay, and then it's going to result you the value of the factorial 3 is 6. Okay, fine. Now Python is having one more magical function that is called as a lambda function. Have you studied about lambda function also? Do you have any idea about lambda functions? There is one task for you. Okay, this is a task. I request you guys to prepare code on Fibonacci series using recursion. This is what you need to do. Only do prepare a code on Fibonacci series using recursion. Okay, that means function should call itself, and then your series needs to be printed. Now, lambda functions. Any idea about lambda functions? Do you know anything about lambda? Till now, we are using either predefined function or either user defined function with some names. We gave the name to the functions. Have you used any kind of function without a name, without giving name to it? Yes, no, kindly give me the answer.
No, sir.
Okay, so lambda function is new for you.
We heard it, sir, but I forgot, sir.
Okay, you forgot, but what about others? Did they remember or forgot?
We have forgot,
Okay,
sir.
forgot. Okay, okay, no worries. So lambda function is a special type of function without without name. Till now we have used def, and we have named the function number, whatever. You have named a function, and you have written statements inside those functions. But what will happen if you don't have a name to the function? That's why this function is said to be anonymous. A function without any name is said to be anonymous function because it's declared in such a manner that how in such a manner that using def keyword without any name. Okay, so we can use lambda keyword for declaring your lambda function. Let's see how it works. A simple code. I'm writing lambda print hello world. I'm just writing lambda print hello world. Okay, and if I run this code, it say okay, it's a lambda function basically. So lambda is anonymous without any name. I haven't written def. If I want to perform this task, I would have written def and I say greet. I have written greet, and then I'm saying print hello everyone. Okay, and then I need to call greet. I need to call greet, and it will print me hello world. So this is these three lines I need to perform. And if I'm going to use a lambda function without any this thing, instead of def, I need to use this simple lambda print hello world. Okay, and if I assign greet equal to lambda hello world, still it's going to return me that I am a lambda function. So I'm just running this codes, just helping you to check that this is a lambda function. Okay, and if I'm going to call greet, call by using rounded bracket, then it will give me the result. Okay, so the simple thing is, in a one line itself, lambda function basically works in a single line. That is, you have studied about the list comprehension. In case of comprehension, you are working that whatever the operations which are performed in a list in 2 to 3 lines, 4 lines, just write it in a single line. Write them in a single line. Comprehension. Here also, in case of lambda, you are going to simplify the task. Instead of writing multiple lines, you are going to perform it in a single line itself without the name of the function, without giving the name, and it will be anonymous. Without name, it's anonymous. So what happens? I assigned greet equal to lambda colon print hello world. Okay, and then I called this method greet. Okay, but greet is a variable. Listen. Greet is a variable. You assigned a variable equal to this thing, and but when you are using greet in a form of with rounded brackets followed by rounded brackets, now it will be lambda. That means with this variable, you are calling the lambda function. Okay, and you get the output as hello world. Okay, here is the output. Declare a lambda function and call the lambda function. That's it, hello world. If I would say I already done this task without lambda function. Okay, now if you want to calculate the square of a number, so you will write def square, then you give the arguments and all the no, it's a lengthy process. Just do it in a one line. How? X equal to lambda y into y. That means if I give, see, remember, you forgot, but don't forget this time. If I need to calculate the square of a number, I am saying lambda y. That means previously just we are printing hello world. That's it. But here I am doing some mathematical operation. I am printing the value of square of a number. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. So if I would say x, this is what you need to do. Obviously, you need to assign some variable, some value. Then you are saying equal to lambda y into y. See, you can't write directly. If I copy this code and paste it here, you can't write directly y lambda y into y. Okay, and if I run this code, obviously it will give you error, invalid syntax. This is not a syntax. Instead, you need to write like this: y colon. Okay, so the value 10 will be supplied here to y into y. That means 10 into 10. Okay, and then it will say back again. It will return back here. And here is the output 100 for you. Okay, so what actually function is? Function is, we are having, if I say y equal to f of x, you have already studied. X is your domain and y is your range. You supply the values in x, and whatever be the function is, it's going to return you the value. That's what happening here. Your function is your y, this is y, is your, that is f of x. So here it is f of x. is y into y. This is your function. Just understand. You will ask me, sir, why you written y colon y into y? See, understand what the logic says. Y equal to f of x. This is general definition notation of functions. We have already studied in maths, and we are using the same notation here. Y colon y into y. That means whatever the value of x you are going to supply here, okay, that will be calculated, and this is your function. Okay, it will going to return you 100 the value. Let's check. This is the using def. So def is a lengthy process. Def is a lengthy process. In lambda we are doing it in one line itself, but def is a lengthy process. Okay, now I here I am creating a lambda function that accept one argument. Okay, just greet user lambda name, one argument name, print hey their name. I'm going to take one argument. Okay, and here I'm using greet with one argument. So this argument will be supplied here, and it will print you name. Okay, here is output greet user. Now in this example you have you means you have done the same concept as above also, same thing. Okay, no, not too much difference. Only the point is here you have given a variable, an argument here in the function. So this is your function call. Okay, here you can supply the arguments, and whatever the value you are going to supply to the arguments will come here. It will come here. And if I would say, sir, can there be a possibility that if I use multiply mul equal to, if I say lambda lambda, and that what I can take, can it be possibility, sir, x comma y? Can you take, sir, x comma y colon, and you can write x into y, sir, and then sir, the point is, if we can supply mul, and I can we give 12 and 10, sir, here? Okay, can we do this thing? Is there any possibility? See, check what happened. Here are your variables, so don't forget now, please. Here are the variables. You are giving x and y, and here you are performing what operation you need to do on x and y. So you are multiplying x and y here, and it will be assigned to y, and here you are giving the value. And I'm not writing any print muly. No print statements are used here. Nothing to be printed. Okay, and if you want to use, sir, we want to use some logic also. Some other logic, sir. Kindly help us with some other logics. If I'm saying x into y, if y is greater than 0, if I'm saying like this, if y is greater than 0, if I running it, it said there is an invalid syntax. This is invalid syntax. How you can use if with the lambda functions? What is the possibility that you can use if with lambda functions? Because it's a simple function, sir, we can use it in a way like if then writing a statement, then colon and all these things. But how we are going to use if with the lambda function? Simple terms, it's already cleared. Okay, just multiplying and getting the result. But how we are going to use if and all this stuff in case of lambda functions? Okay, so let us check here also, and I will explain you how to use if statements above. Here you are having argument 1, argument 2, same as I explained you. Added these two, give the value and calculated the sum, done. Here the multiplication done already. Here if we are going to add the three parameters, already done. Okay, now just consider this particular case, especially calculating even or odd. And you have already seen df, even and odd, and that's all the big code, multiple line code. I want to do all the stuff in a single line. How to be done? Okay, x equal to lambda num. Okay, whatever the number which you want to going to give as a check. Okay, give it here. Print even if num percentage 2 equal to 0, else print out. See, this is how you write English statement. Print even if this else print out. Okay, you can see how it works. Let me run this code and got the result. This is how you need to incorporate if and else with the lambda function. Okay, though there is a bit twist also, because writing all the code lines in one in a form of one statement, because if you do write in a different lines, then it is okay. But if you want to write all these in a single line, then if order or syntax is wrong, then definitely there is an issue. Okay, there is an issue. Fine. Let me go ahead with another lambda function. If you want to calculate again, the point is whether number is even or not, just by having a list. So L equal to, this is a list, and I'm saying even numbers from this list. I'm using a method filter inside lambda. So lambda x percentage 2 equal to 0 L. That means from list, from this list, perform this task and filter, and prepare a list of filtered numbers. You know what I did? This filter method is used to return the filtered values. We'll use this function filter based upon some conditions. So here is a condition. What? This is a sample lambda function we have used above with if and else to calculate even or odd. However, I'm using filter method also. You know what happened? I gave L, that is a list here, and inside filter we are performing this lambda operation. That means we are saying, okay, lambda x and percentage to equal to 0. That means if this is even, okay, so if the value is even, then just filter it and put it here. So this list comprises of even and odd values, but still you used this filter method and it prepared a list of all the only even numbers and printed you. Still, let us do some other codes also. Okay, some other code using if and else and using lambda. I want you to be confident with the lambda, because lambda is something very important. It's used in most of the cases in Python programming, lambda functions. So what else we can do, whether a number is positive or negative? Okay, you can take x equal to lambda num colon, you can say print pos if num is greater than 0, else print negative. Okay, and then x you can take -10. Okay, let me run this code. Your result is negative, the number is negative. This is how you can find the positive and negative also. What else you want to do? Any code if you are having in your mind, you can use it. X equal to lambda, and I will say num, I just take some variables x, not take x, a b c, print c if c is greater than a and c is greater than b. C is greater than a and c is greater than b. Else print p if b is greater than c, or I will say a, and b is greater than c. Else print a. That's it. Else print a. Okay, and just let me use this x. Let me give 1 0 2. Let me run this code. What happens? Give me 2. So in a single line we checked which number is greatest. We're using if else multi, but you're seeing that, sir, this is quite complex, sir. See, obviously lambda functions, in case of lambda functions, performing a bigger task is somehow what complex. If you are having some like this kind of calculation, then it is okay. But if you are having lengthy calculations, then obviously it will create a trouble to just identifying which should be used first, which should be used next, and so on. Okay, but still somehow what if you can manage, then you can. But lambda functions are important, very important in Python. Okay, and here in this particular code, I use filter with the lambda. Okay, and the point is filter return the filter value. Okay, so I gave a list, and I need to filter it with the even numbers, and that's what I did, and return you the values. You can do the same task with positive and negative numbers also. If you are available with a list of positive or negative numbers, okay, you can use the lambda function in the same style. X greater than 0, that means if you want to return only positive values, so inside filter just use lambda, give the list L. Okay, from this list I need to perform this lambda operation, filter the values. Okay, those values which are greater than 0, just filter it and prepare a list of it. That's it. Here is the answer: 5, 12, 6, 9. Okay, and if you are saying sir less than 0, that means list of negative numbers, yeah, you can do that. Okay, you can do the same tasks, you can filter with the negative values also. All right, now there is one more function that is called as a map function. Map, see, the map function is used to apply some functionality over every element present in the given sequence and generate a new series with some modification. Okay, so what kind of modification has been done? Let's see, let's check the code. I am having a list 1, that is 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9, and I need to cube every number which is present in the list. That means x into x into x, cube of every number. Okay, I am giving a list here. List 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, and I am printing the list 2, which is a cube of every all of them. Okay, so map function. Here I am not filtering. Okay, that just calculate the cube of and no, I'm not filtering here. So the case is different with the filter. The map function is used to apply some functionality over every element. So for every element I need to perform cube. So for that reason I can't use filter. For that reason I need to use map. Okay, so lambda for calculating the cube is very easy: x into x into x. This is how you can use lambda function. Here you are given the list 1, and here you are performing map. So the map will help to calculate the cube of each and every number. Okay, and it will prepare a list of it, and here is your result: 8, 27, वगैरह वगैरह, and all this. This is your result. If you want to calculate the square, yeah, you can. Power, actually. Double star is a power. So x to the power x. Okay, 2, 3, 4, x to the power x. Here it is. That is 2 to the power 2, 3 to the power 3, 4 to the power 4. Here it is. Map function. So for specific functionality over every element in your list, map function is used. And for filter, filter is something you need to filter the values on some condition. Here there is no condition. I haven't applied any condition here. But there, in case of filter, there is a condition applied. Then only the filtered list is prepared. Okay, now let's proceed ahead. You can use anything like x equal to x plus 5 and etc etc. You can prepare any list and you can do the task. No worries. Okay, now local and variables, I guess we have already discussed in the previous classes. Local variable, global variables. All right, so till here we have studied about the lambda function and how to use the lambda function. And there are two methods which I have used to create a difference. That is, one is the filter method, and another is a map method. Okay, so these two methods I have used. You can so use the logic of lambda, and whatever the functions we have created with def, you can create it with the help of lambda also. Okay, only the point is, there is a complexity in the code, as I have done one code with the using lambda, and my statement was, here it is. It's a, in a single line it's getting more and more, because there are many conditions to check. Okay, so the point is the complexity, and if you are comfortable you can use, but still you can try the lambda function. It's very important. And in machine learning, and in while doing the codes, okay, we have used this lambda functions in some of the cases. Okay, so that's why it needs to be explained. So the point here, the important functions which we have studied is your the concepts in functions. Def is simple thing you can do. Arcs, quarks, very very important in Python. You've seen some examples related to it. And then this lambda function, again a very important concept in the Python. Okay, so in case of R's and cos, if you are having a single asterisk, how you need to give the values. If you are having a double asterisk, how you need to give the values. You should be aware. You know that, sir. In case of double star, sir, we need to give the indexing. Then only it's working. Without index, it's not working. And in case of single star, sir, we did not have to give the index. No index has been given. It's working fine, sir. Okay. The fact is, sir, we don't know how many arguments are coming from the user end. That is what the basic concept related to the R's and cos. We don't know how many arguments are going to come from the user. That's why we are using star. If you had known, then that's okay. If you the don't know is something important. Recursion, okay, sir. Recursion, calling function itself, sir. Factorial, we have already prepared. Concept, that complete chart I have explained you, that how the recursion, how the values are returned. And I gave you one task. You need to prepare a recursive function based upon your Fibonacci series. Okay, and then here lambda we have discussed. And the next thing is, though we have discussed, let me have a review of it. That is your global variable, local variable. Okay, for example, if I'm saving def outer, this is an outer method, and I am defining variable message equal to local. Okay, and then I'm using df inner, that means nested function inside function. See, you can use it. Function inside function, you can create functions inside functions. It's not like that, sir, only just one function and no. Function inside functions can be done. So this is inner function, and this is non-local message. Non-local. See, we have seen global, we have seen no local, and now we are seeing non-local also. So there is a difference between non-local and a global. Okay, we will study here. So I am declaring a variable that is non-local message, and then I'm printing. Then I'm saying message equal to non-local, and then I'm printing. Okay, print message. And then here I'm calling inner method, and here I'm calling outer method. So there is a twist in this particular code. Okay, so first of all, let us have a review. You know very well about, sir, local variable whose scope is only inside the function. You know about global variable, sir, whose scope is throughout the code, throughout the program. Then what does this non-local variable means? Is it similar to your global variable, or it has something different idea? Non-local. Non-local means, sir, I have restate the scope of this variable. Non-local, by making it as non-local. But is non-local same as global, or there is a difference between these two? Do you have any idea about this keyword non-local? Anyone? Non-local variables. I hope you are studying it for the first time. Non-local variables in Python.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the point is, let me explain you. Non-local keyword if you're declaring a variable with a non-local keyword, this is basically used in nested functions, because in normal view we haven't used non-local. But in case of nested functions, it's applicable, specially applicable to the nested functions, where the variable should not belong to the inner function, where the variable should not belong to the inner function. So for that specific thing, I am declaring that variable as not local. Okay, so we have already declared this message above. This variable message I have already declared in the outer function, but I want to declare this variable again. Again, I want to declare this variable again in inner function also. So it's mandatory for you to make it as non-local. Make it as non-local. Okay, so the concept itself says a non-local keyword is being used to work to define a variable inside nested functions, where the variable should not belong to the inner function. Variable should not belong to the inner function. So if I say non-local message, that means this this message which was already declared above does not belong to this inner function. I declared again message variable next, and said it is a non-local, and I'm printing this value inner. Then I'm calling inner method. So inner method will be called here. Its instances are printed. Then I'm calling outer method here. Okay, see, listen. First, let me run the code and check where we have done the print statements. See, here is one print statement, inner message, and where this inner print inner message is, it's present in, sir, inner method. It's present in inner method. Okay, so when I going to call inner, this will work. This will work. And what it's printing? Non-local. It's printing non-local. Okay, I have assigned non-local here. When I get out of this inner method, again I printed print outer message. Again it printed me non-local. Again it printed me non-local. And if I call this method outer, or if I print here, print, if I say print message, let me run this code. First it printed me, this message that is a local, and here in these two cases it printed me non-local. Non-local. So what exactly happened, as I told, that in cases where you are using nested functions, nested functions, we need to use non-local variable, and this non-local variable is to reference. It's a reference variable for the nested scope. Okay, and and the point is why local and global variable are differ from a non-local variables. Because in case of non-local reference variable, it behaves, this keyword will behave as a reference variable to the parent function. It is behaving as a reference to the parent function. Okay, however, in case of just simple variable and a global keyword, it's exactly not a scene. Okay, so non-local variable is behaving as a reference variable, as a this keyword is making a variable as a reference to the parent function. Okay, that's why what happened, that if you printed the values, what if you printed the value here, inner message, it gave me non-local, and after also it gave me non-local. Every time it gave me non-local. But just remove this thing, don't be get confused. So let me explain you this concept again. You have created a method outer and declared a variable message whose value is local. You created nested method, inner, inside, outer method. And here you declared a variable message as non-local. So what does this non-local is doing? Non-local is used to work in nested functions, and where the variables should not belong to the inner function. That means it has been referenced to the outer variable, outer function. So this non-local variable message is a reference to whom? Outer function. Okay, so that's why I'm using non-local, and it is used to declare that a variable actually is not a local variable. It's actually not a local variable, it's a non-local variable. So it's a reference to this method, outer. And what I did, I changed the value, message equal to non-local. I changed its value now non-local, and I printed here. The result was non-local. After that also, outside inner method also, it gave me the result as non-local. It gave me same result, non-local, because it is a reference to the outer object, outer. So whether in outer it has been declared a local, but being non-local, same variable, if you assign any value here, it will directly impact its value. So local was message value was local, but due to non-local, it impacted. If I would say, sir, global, so global can be used anywhere. Global can be used anywhere. Okay. Now the case is, now let us say, sir, can we have one more code? Can we have one more code with the non-local? If I say a colon, if I say x equal to 5, okay, then inside that I'm creating b, and I'm writing non-local x equal to 10. Okay, and then I'm print x here, and just go outside and call b here, and also call b here, and again print x outside b. Okay, so I declared a variable x as non-local and assigned its value 10. Initially it was 5. Initially it was 5 in the outer. In inner, I said non-local x equal to 10, printing its value inside b, calling and printing its value outside also. Let me call the method also a and run this code. Okay, there's an error. df. Okay, x equal to 10. Okay, non-local x equal to 10. Just do write like this. Now print 10 10. What happened? What happened here? Here the value of x was 5. However, by declaring x as non-local, you made value of x as 10. So whether you are calling it from anywhere, inside b also, outside b also, it's changed to 10. Okay, now because this variable being as a non-local is referenced to the outer block, that is what happened. And if I would say, just copy this code and paste it here. Don't make it as non-local. Don't make it as non-local. Remove it. Remove x equal to 10 here. And now print. Obviously, here the value of x inside b is 10 and outside b is 5. 10 and 5. You are getting the result 10 and 5. Obviously, this is the result which is coming is expected result 10 and 5. But if you use non-local, obviously it will impact here, and it will change the value of outer by updated value 10. Okay, that's why it is 10 10, and here it is 10 5. No change, because here x is local to b and here x is local to a. That's it, baat khatam. So the value of x in a is 5 and value of x in 10 is b, so it printed. But here change. Non-local, that means if you update the value of x, it will impact outer function also. All right, so